I apologise for the late hour, but I had to see you immediately.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and in this installment of Versus, we're pitting Viscount Bridgerton against Mr. Bridgerton. Anthony or Colin? Who's Netflix's best romantic lead?
You think too much about it.
And you do little.
Round 1. Tropes. Bridgerton has always relied on classic tropes. We started strong with Daphne and Simon's fake courtship, but then went to a whole new level with Kate and Anthony's enemies to lovers story.
You're still convinced we've lost our prey?
I'm convinced that deer prefer the edge of the forest. This is much too open out here.
Enemies to lovers can be a tricky trope to get right, since you don't want to make the character so adversarial that we can't believe they're going to fall in love. But Canthony's take on this trope was perfect, and it guided the story from the beginning all the way through to their bickering in their season 3 scenes.
You were the one who then looked at me.
You looked at me!
Not in the way that you did.
And how exactly did I look?
We were living for their simmering rivalry, with them both denying their feelings until it was almost too late. And that's why they became instant fan favorites.
You do know there'll never be a day where you do not vex me.
Is that a promise, Cathane Jean?
But how have Colin and Penelope fared?
I'm afraid I cannot offer you that dance, Miss Cowper. I am to escort Miss Featherington to the floor.
Following Canthony is no easy task, and Friends to Lovers is perhaps not as compelling right off the bat. But falling in love with one of your closest friends is an ideal way to build any relationship, and it's something plenty of people have experience in, as opposed to Canthony's high drama.
You've sworn off women then?
Not for the time being.
I am a woman.
You are Pen. You do not count. You're my friend.
Colin had 2 seasons to build up their relationship, with Colin the perpetual oblivious love interest who somehow can't see how much Penelope means to him.
I'd very much like to be more than friends. So much more.
However, we definitely haven't seen as much of their friendship as we'd like, since Colin has spent a lot of season 3 part 1 avoiding Penelope.
For God's sake, Penelope Featherington, are you going to marry me or not?
We have to give this round to Anthony for perfectly embodying his trope in a way that Colin just doesn't. Winner, Anthony. Round 2, Glow Up. Hearts across the globe began to beat a little faster when the first promotional images for Bridgerton Season 3 came out.
You really are very good, you know that.
We were all surprised by Luke Newton's makeover, as the boyish Bridgerton was left behind in favor of a more rugged, world-weary Colin. Newton grew out his sideburns and ditched the quiff for a more mature vibe. Like Simon before him, Colin often abandons the Regency's lavish scarves for a rebellious open collar look that sends the Ton wild.
Is that our brother?
Colin?
He changes so much that his siblings barely recognize him when he arrives at the beginning, charming everybody he meets.
Under what foreign sun did you apparently get so sturdy?
I was nowhere and everywhere.
Anthony, on the other hand, didn't have the same transformation. In fact, Jonathan Bailey cut his hair and sideburns between Season 1 and Season 2, making him look maybe a little too modern. His wardrobe certainly improved though, with the show putting him in even darker colors to fit with his reputation as London's most notorious rake. Other than that though, Anthony's appearance changed very little, though personality-wise, we love a man who learns to connect with his feelings.
Oh, I'm sure there is someone here who will charm you. After all, this is the season the Viscount intends to find a wife.
You honestly just did that.
And we also can't blame him for changing his hair after that devastating breakup with Sienna. That's something we can all relate to.
I'm sorry, Sienna. I'm so sorry.
Colin easily puts Anthony to shame here, and we hope that in Season 4, Anthony takes a few fashion tips from his younger brother to break out of that stuffy Regency mold. Winner, Colin. Round 3, Heroism. Anthony was the picture of gallant when, in Season 2's penultimate episode, he rode through the rain to ask Kate to marry him, only for her to fall and hit her head. Anthony carried her through the storm and got her to safety, and it's not clear whether she'd have survived if he hadn't been there.
My lord! Room!
Oh my God, Kate!
Call the surgeon at once!
This is undeniably the most heroic thing to have happened in Bridgerton thus far, and we're glad Netflix didn't make us wait to see whether Kate would be okay. Anthony also put his life on the line to duel Simon for Daphne's honor. While dueling is completely ridiculous, Anthony was still trying to be a gentleman, however misguided. Colin got his own heroic moment in Season 3 Part 1 though, when the Ton all goes to see a hot air balloon. While the Dankworths are attempting to liaise behind a tent, a rope tying the balloon comes loose on an extraordinarily windy afternoon.
Help me! Now!
As the balloon comes undone, Colin is first to seize the ropes.
Miss Featherington!
Penelope's life is saved when Colin just barely manages to hold back the basket, though it's hard to say that this entire scene wasn't extremely contrived.
1, 2, 3,
It's also difficult to say whether Penelope was in any real danger even if the basket had hit her. It was a poor replacement compared to Kate's fall, and the wind is never as romantic as the rain.
Well done, Bridgerton.
We have to give it to Anthony this time. Rescuing someone from a head injury is much more serious than rescuing them from a balloon. Winner, Anthony. Round 4, Sense of Humor. Season 3 has leaned into rom-com tropes more than the previous two, though much of Simon and Daphne's fake dating shenanigans definitely fit.
I believe you deserve to know.
Is there something on my face? Has it been there all evening? It has, hasn't it? Sorry, go on.
Colin is widely celebrated in the Ton for his ability to always come up with something witty to say. Considering Penelope is also known for her wit by those who actually take the time to befriend her, they're great every time they're on screen together, playing off each other very well.
But do you not think the boy bears a passing resemblance to Lady Trowbridge's footman?
Penelope. What's a barb?
Having a good sense of humor is a coveted quality in a potential partner. And while Eloise may be the funniest Bridgerton of all, Colin has more moments than most.
I could die tomorrow.
You're not going to die tomorrow.
But I could, and it would kill me.
You would already be dead.
Elsewhere, and you may wonder whether Anthony has any sense of humor whatsoever.
I've already compiled an index of the season's eligible misses and have arranged interviews.
Interviews.
He's terminally serious and rarely laughs or cracks a smile. That is, until he starts being honest with Kate.
Are the young ladies of London truly so easily won by a pleasing smile and absolutely nothing more?
So you find my smile pleasing?
I find your opinion of yourself entirely too high.
This isn't surprising, considering a huge part of Anthony's character is his trauma over his father's death. But who can honestly say they don't want a partner who makes them laugh? We're usually laughing at Anthony for how ridiculous he's being, rather than with him, and it's not a character trait that can be overlooked.
Are you going to ask me to dance? One last time.
Luckily, Kate has enough humor for both of them. If you want a man who broods, then we know you'd die for Anthony, but we can't help loving Colin for his lightness, so he wins this round. Winner, Colin. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Round 5, Angst and Tension.
It's my fault. It is all my fault.
In keeping with his broodiness, Anthony's season was full of angst and unbearable sexual tension between him and Kate.
I am unharmed. I am unharmed.
There was angst over his father's death, angst over his responsibility to his family, angst over whether he was wronging Edwina, and of course, angst over his feelings for Kate.
So tell me, what has she done?
She has done nothing, it is you. You have made this match impossible.
But I am leaving for India.
And it is not far enough.
It was the simmering tension that made Bridgerton Season 2 an even bigger hit than Season 1, as Anthony went around in circles, refusing to admit what was really fueling their animosity for one another.
You are the bane of my existence. And the object of all my desires.
Who knew that a bangle falling to the floor could cause so much drama?
I'm simply in my own thoughts. A man can be pensive, can he not?
Colin, meanwhile, definitely doesn't suit being a moody, introspective gentleman in the way Anthony did. Though he spends plenty of time grappling with his feelings for Penelope, it rings a little hollow when we know there isn't as much standing in the way of these two other than Colin being dense. He then spends almost all of episode 4 avoiding Penelope and hiding in Bridgerton House, so they get very few moments of in-person sexual tension before that climactic carriage scene.
Penelope,
I do not wish to speak with you.
please.
We love a tormented hero, but Colin just doesn't fit that bill.
A feeling that is like torture, but one which I cannot, will not, do not want to give up.
This victory goes to the Viscount, no questions asked. Winner, Anthony. After all that, Anthony is our triumphant romantic lead. Despite his humorless nature, his emotional turmoil and genuine heroics have won the world over.
Night and day, I dream of you. And what do you even know all the ways a lady can be seduced?
Let us know in the comments which Bridgerton brother you want to take a turn about the room with. Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.